Hello and welcome to my fortnightly vlog. Still feels weird saying that, I'm so used to a weekly vlog, but it's not, it's fortnightly vlog. doesn't really have the same ring to it. So, how are you all enjoying Classic? It's everything I ever wanted and more. I'm so happy with Classic. I bloody love it, I do. I have been absolutely addicted to it. And it's amazing because when I kind of, not finished playing retail, but when Najtar came out, I found it, like I said before, I found it so beautiful and I loved the area. But it wasn't giving me what I wanted from an MMO. It was, there was too many mobs for a start, and I'm not about just mindlessly kind of killing mobs and trying to get from A to B and having a lot of hardship and quarrels along the way. I just kind of want to be able to relax and play and chill and feel like I'm actually playing a game and I'm not getting annoyed with stuff. And I kind of took a step back after I've completed the normal Eternal Palace raid. I took a step back from the game, and I knew that Classic was coming out around this time, and I love WoW, and I was so desperate to play it. So by the time, but as I said, Najtar wasn't doing it for me. So by the time Classic came out, I was so ready, and obviously. Getting the chance to reserve character names, created all this hype about Classic, and I managed to get the names that I wanted on the servers that I wanted. So I'm on Pyrewood Village and Shazra. Pyrewood Village as Alliance and Shazra as Horde. I haven't even logged into a Horde character yet. There's not enough hours in the day. But so I've got Sharm on Pyrewood Village, and Dude got his old paladin name Doodadin. And we have been playing together, and it's incredible, because Dude is now playing World of Warcraft with me, and so that obviously makes the game 10 times better, and he's got the bug and he's addicted, and it's just like 13 years ago when we first got together and we used to go out to gigs and stuff and watch bands playing, and we'd sort of, you know, half an hour in, skulk off and say let's go and play World of Warcraft, and that's kind of where we're at now. We're really enjoying Classic, and you know, it's really odd. It's really odd because in Battle for Azeroth, whenever I died in Najtar or wherever, I used to get so stressed out about that, so annoyed that I've died and I've got to run back to my corpse. In Classic WoW, dying doesn't bother me. Why is that? Why doesn't it stress me out? Is it just a different mentality, a different perception? And yet the runs in vanilla, in Classic WoW, are usually 10 times further to go, but it doesn't stress me out. I'm just kind of quite chill about it, and I die a lot more in Classic than I do in Battle for Azeroth, so I don't know why I have this completely chilled out approach to Classic. But I think one of the first experiences for me that made me realise that, you know, I was going to really enjoy playing Classic and playing through it again was, right, what's it called? The Barrel Darrow Den or something. Night Elves, you with me, right? So in the Night Elf starting area, you come out and you go into, don't know, you go into this other area that's like level, I want to say like level 10-ish. And there's a den with furbolgs in it. I always used to think they were called furblogs. They might be. And you go in there and you have to go and get like 4 relics. You have to get a little shaman totem thing off of one of the shaman casters, and the head of a guy that's downstairs that turns into a cat. So sounds fun. Sounds fun. It is fun. It's also incredibly crazy. It's like a hell. It's like a purgatory. That's what I'd imagine a purgatory to be like. Never quite being able to get that shaman drop, because that's what it felt like. When I was running around, I teamed up with this, as everyone's been doing, right? Everyone's just teaming up with everyone. No one knows each other, and it's like invite, help. And it's amazing. So I teamed up with this random guy another hunter, and obviously, as you know with hunters now, if something gets too close to you, you start attacking it, which isn't as effective as shooting with your bow. And so we had this little kind of ping pong thing set up where he would pull a mob and let it go to him, and then I'd hit it and it'd come to me, and then I'd stop hitting it, and then he'd hit it and it'd go to him, and that's how we was generally just killing stuff between each other. But trying to get the shaman totem trinket to drop, there's a spider walking down. I don't know what it is about this room and spiders. So eventually the shaman trinket thing drops, and it's like, oh my god, thank goodness, because the guy that I was with got his like hours ago, and I was like, it's not dropping for me. And then we're going around killing everything we need to get to the quest items, and we're dying and running back, and it's a bit of a run because it's from Darnassus all the way to the den. And it took like an hour and a half to do those 3 quests in this one place. So that's like a whole over an evening's worth of gameplay. And when we ran out, someone behind us yelled out, finally, in yell, finally, and we all felt it. And the guy that I was with said it felt like that was a raid. That felt like a raid with raid bosses, and you know, having to be really careful and think about what you're doing. And when we went in and went back to the town and handed the quests in and you clear them out of the log, it is the most satisfying, well-earned feeling, and you get a shitty like grey upgrade, and it's like, yes, best loot ever, best feeling ever. Like, it's the same kind of feeling that you get when you're down the end boss in a raid to clear out a difficult quest. I actually did some last night. We've been questing in Redridge, and Redridge gang, where are y'all? So, God, I'm so not cool. So there's a lot of elite quests in Redridge, right? The Shadow Orbs, Midnight Orbs, getting the head of this other guy, and they're all elite mobs around that area. He's protected by like an elite army, and you can't just go in there at a lowish level and hope that you're going to do it. You have to get a group. And last night we actually got a level 35 to come from the guild to help us, and there was still a struggle. It was still quite difficult, and I love that. I love it so much. Everything feels so earned, and everything's slower. The journey's slower, and I always remember in the Mists of Pandaria expansion, one of the NPCs would always say, slow down. And that's how I feel about vanilla and classic. We are slowing the game down to what it should be so that we can appreciate it and have fun and actually go on an adventure. The memories and the journey that I feel I've taken from 1 to, I think I'm 23 with Doodadin, feels epic and long, and there's so much content there behind it, and so much laughter, so many funny things and funny stories have happened just from 1 to 23. Whereas if you think about retail, you know, you've got your heirlooms, and 1 to 23 you could probably do that in maybe, if you played consistently, like 3 hours, get into the looking for group system, go and do some dungeons, get the dungeon quests, you know, you'll get 2 or 3 levels in a dungeon. And it feels like, it feels weird. It feels very, what's the word I'm looking for? It feels empty. It's an empty satisfaction, because all you're kind of doing, the game is kind of forcing you on a beeline to end game, and when you get to the end game, it is a bit of a grind. It is for the neck and the azurite and all this kind of thing, and you've got all of, like, you know, remember when legendaries were just rife, and you'd get one and you would get this sort of wow, but I'm getting that whoa feeling over getting an upgrade on my grey shoulders to a white item, and it's great. I absolutely love it. I'm just having the absolute best time playing Classic, and when I look through the Discord channels that I'm in and look to see what people are playing, majority of people are playing Classic. And if I see someone playing World of Warcraft Retail, it's like, that's cool too, because it's keeping the game alive, and that's so important to me. I'd hate to think that WoW would just kind of, if WoW had just stayed at retail level, I worried for it. I did kind of worry for it, and I think I made a vlog about it saying that I don't want WoW to crash and burn, because it's such an epic game, and it's it started off from such an amazing place, but they've gifted that back to us, and now we're able to go back and play the game and play through content that retail doesn't lend itself to. Retail doesn't tell you to go to places like, where's that place where Diamond is? Is it Ferrolas? Places like that that become kind of obsolete, and you don't think to go there. And like leveling up, I remember leveling up alchemy when I first started playing WoW, and you'd go and you'd get the most ridiculous potions. I remember that, I'm sure there's an alchemist in Ferrolas, right? And getting to the alchemist there was just a trial in itself, just such a journey. And then you get there and they'll teach you something like, drink this and it will make you smaller for a little while, but it increases something else by 2. And you'd think, oh, that's pretty cool. When would I use that? When can I use that? But alchemy and professions in retail, once again, is very much like zoom, 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 zoom. Get to the max level, and don't enjoy the journey. There isn't it's an empty journey. But I feel like we're really character building again within classic WoW, and I'm living for it, guys. I am living for it. Every single night since Classic has come out, I've played, and I am loving it. I've even actually stopped playing Final Fantasy, which was Final Fantasy is my go-to when I'm in between games and I still need to get my pixel fix. And I've stopped playing Final Fantasy, and I was like so on it with my Viera? I don't even know what they're called anymore. That's how much Classic WoW I've been playing. So how about you guys? How are you getting on with Classic? Tell me all about it. Tell me your funny experiences as well, because I every single comment on my YouTube channel, and I respond to every single comment on my YouTube channel. And if you tell me a funny story, you're gonna make my week and other people's week. So let me know the funny things that have been happening to you in World of Warcraft Classic. Right, so I feel like I haven't vlogged for a really long time, and it has been a really long time because the last time I actually did vlog was like a month ago, and it was for my Q&A, and I ended up scheduling it for the next week. So technically I haven't really like sat in front of a camera for 3 to 4 weeks, and now I need to find out where I'm at in my planner so I can tell you all of the things that I've been up to. What day is it? On the 12th of August, which was the Monday at midnight, I've actually written in here, reserve WoW names, and I've written down the names and the servers and everything. Right, so I'm just trying to see where I left off in my last vlog. I don't want to like gab on at you about things that I'd already released. So I guess just to cover the tail of the week before, in case I didn't tell you, there's a Final Fantasy 14 stream called Duty Commenced, and they went ahead and played my What Angel Wakes Me rendition. So I'll put a link in because I don't really understand Twitch. I mean, I know you can stream on it and stuff, but I think you can go and watch the video, but I don't know if it's still there or not. So I'll put a link in and you can go and have a look and see if it's still there. So that was really, really cool, and everyone in the comments was really lovely, and I was lurking obviously, and I was a bit too shy to say anything. I didn't want to be like, oh, that's me, hi, and because I just felt weird, so I just kind of sat there and I was like, oh, the comments are so lovely, and just was there kind of in spirit, I suppose. I've also updated my website, big thing actually. I hope it works for everybody. So obviously my website is arcanewhispers.net, and that's where you can go and download all of my parodies and things like that I put on this channel. And if you can't get them on my website, you can get them on SoundCloud or SoundCloud. But basically I was having a major issues with my website, and it wasn't anything that I was doing. I know it wasn't me, because how can things just work one night and then not the next and you haven't touched them? That's what I don't understand with computers. Why does that happen? It's like they get cursed or something. So basically what was happening is I had loads of issues with my emails, and then I had issues with a database, right? And this was the bane of my life for about a month, and I was trying to talk to my host company, and they've been great. I've been with them for maybe 7 years, and they've been amazing. And then they did this changeover thing, and it caused a load of issues. And so basically the database that contained all of my songs was called Songs with a lower S, and somehow that got changed to a capital S, which broke every single song link on my website. And there are hundreds of songs that I manually put the link into, so there's no way for me to just change one thing and it changes all the links. The issue that I had is that surely if I just renamed the song folder to a lowercase s, that would have fixed it. Renaming the song folder to a lowercase s broke my website. My website would just 404. So, and I don't understand how that can happen when it's working fine one night, and then I wake up and I've got all these things and nothing's working. So I went ahead and completely remade the website and simplified the song plugins that I was using. So the code that I was using for my songs page was so long and so finicky, and to add one song I'd have to edit like 3 lots of different code, and it was so time consuming, and it stopped me from keeping my songs page up to date, because it was just like, that's not what I want to be doing. I don't want to be editing code, I want to be recording songs and singing. So I've managed to simplify it all down. It looks a lot better, it's a lot more streamlined, and now when I want to add a song, it is as simple as uploading the song to the playlist, and it just shows up and it's there, and I don't have to touch any code or anything. So the new website, arcanewhispers.net, is still there, but I've set up a redirect, and apparently it now goes to sharm.arcanewhispers.net/music. So let me know if that works. If it doesn't, just don't tell me. I don't want to know. It's working on my computer, and that's the main thing. That to me means it's just working for everyone, surely. So I was also invited to be on a podcast, which I went ahead and did during an August week on a Monday. And I was ever so nervous, but it went really well, and the host was incredible. And I won't say too much about it, and there's no ETA on release or anything, but I'll retweet it. So follow me on Twitter @SharmyX. And it was just really fun, and I was so, I don't know why I get so nervous about things that I'm passionate about. Like, I find talking about music and stuff really, really easy, but I big things up in my head a little bit too much. And anyway, so we sat down and we did the podcast together, and it went really, really well, and I'm really excited because it's a really professional podcast, and I can't wait for you to go and listen to the first and second episode, because it's so funny and so professional, and you're gonna love it. But I mean, you might not love my segment, because I rambled on a lot. I rambled, but I mean, I had a good time, so hopefully you'll get to hear that soon. Also released the Endelethil song, which was written by Greta Kratz and the Silver Circle, the Headcanon Darnassian words, and I've been kind of in contact with a member from the Silver Circle, and I've learned so much about it now, and I'm really in the know. I had no clue about the Silver Circle before. It's like a group, it's a guild and a group of people that come together and they work out night elf phrases and, you know, do the headcanon words and everything, and it's insane, and it's, to me, it's like a pot of gold. It's like, holy moly, I need to have all of the words and all of the lyrics at my disposal so that I can just sing about the thing that I enjoy singing about the most, and that is in a night elf language. I absolutely love doing it. And it's funny, a lot of singers say, I think I heard Maluka saying it recently, that it's so fun to sing in a fictitious, is that the word? Fictitious language, because it does help you do your vowel placements. And when Maluka said it, I was like, it really does. But it's so freeing for the voice. It's a really freeing experience, and you can translate into a sort of, is dialect the right word? You can, so Endelethil, some people might not want to pronounce it like that. They might pronounce it as ondul ethul. Do you know what I mean? And it's a completely different vowel placement. But anyway, that's going way down the rabbit hole with vowel placements. Still been doing my Ken Tamplin vocal workouts and learning a lot from him, and it's incredible. Like, my voice I just feel a lot more chilled out about singing, and I think it's really easy to get way too mental about singing, and singing is a very freeing thing, and it shouldn't be a restrictive thing, and I've always said it's like a 75% mental thing, and if you've got a lot of worries and troubles and concerns about how you sound or your voice or whatever, it really starts to translate into the singing, and it causes so many bumps that just don't need to be there. So I'm really just feeling a bit freer and a bit more relaxed and solid. I feel more solid when it comes to singing, and I'm more accepting of, you know, what my voice can and can't do. Also released a dark version of Fear Not This Night, which was inspired by McLean Dimer. I hope I said his name right, Dimer. And his version was just, I mean, obviously Jeremy Saul wrote the original, and then McLean did a dark version of it, and oh God, I love dark versions of stuff so much. And it's incredible, and it was massively inspiring, so I decided to go ahead and do my own take on it. And I'm really enjoying composing at the moment. I feel like I've hit a sweet spot with instruments and how to, you know, I used to have this thing where I would just put so many effects on instruments to get them to sit in the mix, but that's not a necessity. It's not, you can just have them raw and they're going to sound fine, and they're not going to sound muddy, and they're not going to sound lost or unseated, because that's how an instrument would have sounded. And it's good to just accept that that is the sound of the instrument and just slap it in the mix and leave it alone. I also did 2 more tavern songs. I'm actually writing very short ditties like the Tales of the Lower for each tavern, and I've done, I want to say 6 taverns, and I'm pairing the songs up because they are short, so there'll be one for the Horde and one for the Alliance, and it plays as like one song, but it's 2 taverns. So I did another 2 of those, and then I did my Eyes on Me cover, and I really like my Eyes on Me cover, and I know that it had a bit too much flair in it, and I agree. There was one bit, I can't remember what it was, it was towards the middle of the song, and I did like a run with my voice, and I would take that run out now. But the first ones, whenever sang my songs on the stage on my own, whenever said my words, that was it, right? No, whenever sang my songs on the stage on my own. So I did those little runs and I couldn't stop doing them. There was a part of me that was like, don't put those in because it's not true to the original, but I'm all up for taking away from an original and making, and I don't want to sound like the original singer or do what the original singer necessarily does. And I couldn't stop doing those runs, so I ended up just leaving them in, and I like them, but there is one run that I don't like and I can't remember where it is, but I should have taken it out. Oh my goodness, and Veracity. So that was a patron requested song, and I was a little bit not sure whether to release it on my channel or not, but the reason why I released it is because I want to show versatility and that I can really let loose and have fun with something else, and it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, but I still had a good time with it ever so fast. Are you ready for the full course? Freshly sadistic pleasure, don't stop feeding, don't stop, not enough. And it's a fast, crazy song, but I loved it. And yes, there was a tuner on my voice for that song. I'm not ashamed to say it. There's the oh, what's her name? Is it Amelie? I'm sure it's Amelie. Leon Lee. She did it originally. Her voice and her mix is incredible, and I think if I had someone to mix my voice into a mix like that, I could get kind of close to that sound. But obviously I don't want to be her voice because that's her sound and her voice. Then I worked on the Wetlands Swamp parody, which was written by Soulfire, and he made the video to that, and I think that's gone down okay. I enjoyed singing that one. And I'm actually working on a little mini Halloween album that I'm hoping to get out for October, and so far it's going to have the dark version of Fear Not This Night, and what was the other one? Oh, and I've had so many people ask me to do an extended version of the Mad King Thorn, so I've completely remastered that song, re-recorded the vocals, done a whole new composition for it, added in new verses, and that's going to be on it as well, and I think it's probably one of my best compositions to date. I'm so proud of it. I can't wait to share it with you. I'm also going to be putting so I wanted the album to be kind of, because it's a Halloween mini album, I wanted it to be kind of dark. So obviously the Fear Not This Night Dark version is dark, and the Mad King Thorn is a dark song. Although it doesn't sound dark, it's a very medieval sounding song. It's not necessarily like horror, but the lyrics are about a mad king. And then I decided that I wanted to do a cover of Sarah Was Never from Dragon Age Inquisition and make that into a dark version, but that's not, so I've recorded the whole vocals for Sarah Was Never and I've started doing my composition, but it sounds just like a tavern song, and I really like it, like I really like the composition, but I'm not sure how it fits into a Halloween theme unless you look at the lyrics from a different perspective, as though Sarah is like a terror and a tyrant, like the Mad King Thorn. Sarah was never an agreeable girl. Her arrows fly like a dragon and all that sort of stuff. You could look at the lyrics and think, okay, well it kind of could be a bit of a Halloween-y song because the lyrics are quite dark, but I don't know if I can put Sarah Was Never on this album or not. I'm going to try and make it more sinister, I think. So that's pretty much it. This feels like it's been a very, very long vlog, but I haven't vlogged for a long time, so, and you know, classic, there was a lot to talk about. And my so after this, I don't know where I was going with my, after this I'm going to be recording a couple of Patreon videos, so I need to learn a couple of songs because they're live performances. I need to learn them, practice them and record them, get them done. And I will see you Tuesday. Apparently Tuesday the 1st of October is a call-free day, and I'll see you for the Q&A. Still waiting to hear on the BlizzCon though. I don't know if I'm going or not, I don't know, I haven't heard. You know, I entered into the competition, the talent contest, and I haven't heard anything. I'm like, time's are ticking, and you know, like I'm the kind of person that needs to know stuff like this. It's a long flight, and it's only going to be for sort of 2 or 3 days. I'm going to be jet lagged as hell if I do go, but I want to be able to prepare. I want to be able to get into the zone. You know, I'm ready and I want to do it, and I'm very, very excited if I do get picked. But it's been a really long time because I got my entry in like a couple of days after they announced that they were taking entries. I think it was like 2 or 3 days, and then I did it and I sent it, and I thought, you know, there's only so many ways that I can film myself singing, so, you know, I'm not gonna like, what's the word? Oh my god, what is the word? Overcomplicate the video? Because, you know, I'm just singing, it's just me and my voice, so I just went ahead and did it, and I got a good take, and I sent it off, and it's been like, I feel like it's been about 10 years. I feel like I've lived 13 years and Classic's suddenly out, and it's like, oh, but wait, what's going on with BlizzCon? So hopefully I'll find out soon, because I feel like I really need to know. It's taking forever. What's taking so long? Tell me. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks for the Q&A. Bye.